Down in the office, I have a little booklet of wisdom sayings, little short verses that talk more about some of the deeper things in life. Several weeks ago, those of you who are members of the parish got our annual stewardship letter, and I included a couple of them in the letter, and I'm sure you've all read it by now, and in case you forgot already, one of them that I included is, how do things get so backwards? Consider the military. In the military, we have privates and generals. But who is more private than a general? And who is more general than a private? That's what I mean. It gets so backwards. That's why I talked at the start of the liturgy tonight. I would guess that when we think about Lent, most of us immediately think about doing penance. And that, again, is backwards. That's not the purpose of Lent. Most of us, especially those of us who are older, think back to the days when we started to learn about our Catholic faith. What did we study out of? Most of us studied out of a catechism. And most of us did not study out of a Bible. Which came first? And how did things get so backwards that all of a sudden we start studying the catechism, but we don't go down to the foundation, which is the Bible? That's the same as Lent. Lent is not about doing penance. And I hope I don't have to even tell you this. Lent is about becoming closer to Jesus. Now, most of us, when we think about coming closer to Jesus, we think about the idea that we want to be closer to Jesus so that He can do what we want, that He can help us with life and our problems. That's not what I'm talking about. Getting closer to Jesus is that we would take on His attitudes, His words, His actions. It's not what He can do for us, but what we can do for Him in this world. And Lent is to prepare us for Easter, resurrection. But that's not something we hope to just enjoy after we die. Resurrection is that when Jesus rises up within us and through us to be more evident in the world today. That's what resurrection is. That's what Easter is. That's why we have Lent. Now, to do that, what will we have to do to change? And it's in those areas, in the areas in which we know we should change to be more like Jesus, and that whatever we have to do to make that change, that's the penance. Because change is not easy. It requires discipline of us. And discipline is the word for disciple. And that's what we're challenged to do. You see, if we start backwards, if we just think about doing penances, automatically we start thinking about doing the penances that we did last year and the year before. And for most of us, it goes right back to childhood. Some people are still doing the penances they did as children. So, for instance, as an example, if one of the ways in which you and I should become closer to Jesus is what comes out of our mouth, does it make any sense to give up candy? That's the idea. Think about the areas that you and I need to change so that we are more like, we talk and we act, and our attitudes and our concerns is more like that of Jesus. And then pick your penance to help with that. And that's why the classic out of the Sermon on the Mount, prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Those are the classic areas to help us decide what we need to do and then to do it. Because Lent is about change. Lent is about becoming more like Jesus. Lent then means to change. We do penance to bring about that change. We become like Christ. But we need to change. And that's what Lent is about. We thank you for watching the homily during the Lenten season, joining in our prayerful service as we prepare for the death and resurrection of the Lord Jesus. You're always welcome to join us in person, or if you wish, you can always visit us on mysaintelizabeth.com or watch us on Facebook. A blessed Lent to you, looking forward to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus.